गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्यमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuttara Shutta Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasati Gosai Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishta Srila Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. Nityalala Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gaurya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. नाम आचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदग्ध गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुनि देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगा माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री हरिनाम चिंतामणि की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll do the Mangala Charan and then begin. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Vidito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye Bhatto Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Bharati Mingilo Daragatan Udrita Jivaniman. Krishna Prema Sudabdi Kahana Sukam Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodang Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sacchidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanum Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparang Bhajagodrumakanana Kunjavidum Smaragoragadadara Kelikalang Bhavagoragadadhara Pakshachara Shrinugoragadadhara Charukatang bhaja godrumakanana kunjavidum. Tavai vasmi, na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya devi tvang, nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai, kshiptashcha kamadhitaranga madhe. Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna, vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so wait one second. I should add some verses for Harinam in our morning Mangala Charan, like in our Mangala Charan there. I'll do that later. um, also be nice if we could find a verse for Haridas Thakur. Maybe one of the introduction verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, anyways, I'll look into that today. But Dandavat Pranams, everybody here. Already saw Rohini Nandan Prabhu and Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and everybody else watching on YouTube and Facebook right now. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Yesterday, Mahi Bharat Prabhu was there, but for some reason, his comments didn't show up. So I didn't notice until after the program. Anyways, but yeah, Mahi Bharat Prabhu was there, Dandavat Pranams. Um, all right, so we are continuing with our reading of Harinam-cintāmaṇi. We are on chapter 5. Today we'll be reading the second half of chapter 5. This chapter is on the topic of the second offense to the holy name, which can be understood in two ways. Either that the thinking the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Shiva to be independent and different from the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Vishnu. I think I got that right. Maybe I didn't. Or to and the other meaning is to think that there is difference between the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Vishnu. To think that there's a difference between Vishnu and his name, or Vishnu and his qualities, or Vishnu and his pastimes. But no, they're all completely non-different. So before we start, maybe it would be good we can recite these verses from Padma Puran. This is what all of our acharyas and everybody bases the 10 offenses on, these verses from Padma Puran. Let me just find it. Today I'm just going to recite the Sanskrit. We'll recite the Sanskrit and I'm not going to explain anything. And but eventually we'll gradually start to become more clear about all these words as we go through these chapters. I'm just doing this again for fun to see how long it takes to recite these. I think last time we did it, it took like one minute, one and a half minutes, I think. But I just want to try again. Okay. Satam ninda namna paramam aparadam vitanute yatha kyatim yatam katamusahate tar vikarham Shivasya Shri Vishnor ya iha gunanamari sakalam dhiya bhinnam pashyet sakalu harinama hitakara Guroravagya Shruti Shastra Nindanam Tatarthavado harinamni kalpanam namno baladyasya hipapa buddhir navidyate tasya yamar hishuddhihi dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubha kriya samyam api pramadha ashraddhane vimukhe pyashrinvati yaschopadesha shivanama paradaha Shrutvapi namamahatmyam yapritirahito dhama ahang mamadi paramo namni sopyaparadhakrit. Okay, so that took 1 minute, 20 seconds. So if you ever want to make this a practice before you chant Harinam, I'm not doing this, but I'm thinking maybe once I become more familiar with the verses, this might be a nice thing to do. Before I start chanting Harinam, just remind ourselves, what are the 10 offenses to the holy name? It only takes 1 minute, 20 seconds to recite this. But of course, it's good to be clear on the meaning of all the words before, instead of just saying it like a parrot. So I messaged Sundar Gopal Prabhu from who lives in Costa Rica, my good friend, also known like you might be familiar with the Book of Dharma and Yoga and the Dark Night of the Soul, Simon Haas. Um, so yes, yeah, you can sit, no problem. Yeah, sorry. So you might be when I was a teenager, I remember he was teaching me the definition shlokas. And anyways, he's very yeah, from Costa Rica, yeah. Um and so I asked him if he would be able to help me understand the meaning of the words in this verse. He's really busy right now, I think, but anyways, if he is, then that would be really helpful. Then we can yeah, then we can be really clear on the meaning of all the words. Um but this is just how I'm understanding it now. And if I get more clear on it, I'll explain. But so Satam Ninda, this is the first offense. These first two lines is the first offense. These next two lines is the second offense. Oops. So Satam Ninda means Ninda, criticism of Satam, of sadhus. And then Namna means of the name, Paramam Aparadham. It is the greatest aparad, vitanute. It it produces or it creates the greatest aparad to the holy name, Satam Ninda, criticizing sadhus. Yata, since Kyatim Yatam, those from whom the name's glories are spread. Kyati means renowned, and Yatam, who from those whom the name attains its renown. I don't think that's the right way to say it though. But anyways, let's just think of it in a simple way. Because those who spread Nam's glories. Katam, how? Ooh, it brings emphasis like, oh, how? Sahate, can that Nam tolerate? How can Nam tolerate? Tad, tad vigarham, that most abominable act of tad. Tad means that, refers to Satam Ninda. So how can the name tolerate those people who are spreading its glories being criticized? So that's why this is the greatest aparad. It's the paramam aparad of, of the name, Namna. Okay, so now the second offense, which we're going over today, I, um, I need to check this with somebody, but I was just looking at it right before we started today and trying to understand. So Shivasya means of Shiva, and Shri Vishnur means of Vishnu. And then Guna Namari Sakalam. So Guna, the qualities, the Nam, the name, Adi, and so on. And so on refers to the form, the pastimes, like that. So that's Sakalam, everything. So Nam, Adi, Nam Rup Gun Lila, basically, right? Um, so somebody who Dhiya, with their brain, by their brain, Bhinam, a difference, Pashyet, they see. So somebody who with their brain they see Bhinam, they see the name, form, qualities, pastimes of Shiva and Sri Vishnu Bhinam to be separate. Or they see yeah, the names of Shiva, sorry, the name, form, qualities, pastimes of Shiva to be separate or independent of Sri Vishnu. Then sa means that person, kalu, certainly, Harinam ahita kara. He that person uh ahita is like um you know unfavorable against. He acts. Let's just look up the word ahita really quick. But yeah, like hita, hitakar, ahita, uh harm, injury, adjective, harmful, injurious. So they act in an unfavorable way towards Harinam, certainly. That's an unfavor. I don't know. That's a really awkward way of saying it, but anyways, you kind of get the sense, right? So that's one way of understanding this. But then we also see it explains that anybody who sees a difference between Sri Vishnu and his name, and his form, and his qualities, and his pastimes, they see a difference between that. That's what we're going to be reading about today. Then that person is also, um, you know, he acts in a. Uh, I want to find a better way to say. If anybody has any suggestions, also you can let me know. I'm just looking at this one translation. Another translation here says displeases the name. I'm seeing. Anyways, so in Sanskrit, I might be getting this wrong. This is just what's in my own mind, but um, Shiva means auspicious, and adjectives take the same form of the thing that it's qualifying. And so these are both in the genitive case, these are both of Shiva, of Shri Vishnu. So I think this Shivasya could, another meaning could be the auspicious name of Vishnu's auspicious name, like because Shiva means auspicious, right? And Shri Vishnu. So the most auspicious, auspicious Vishnu kind of, one who sees Bhinam, who sees separate, one Pashat, who sees with their diya, with their intelligence, they Bhinam, they see the guna, nam, rup, gun, lila, like that. They see Bhinam, they see them as being separate than that person also. So there's two meanings. You could either see this as um, the names, forms, qualities of Shiva as being separate from Shri Vishnu or independent. Sorry, how was I cut out for a really long time? Anyhow, I don't know
Not too
if
long.
my not too long. Okay, if my internet keeps on cutting out though, then I'll just switch over to my mobile hotspot. Right now I'm using the Wi-Fi. Um, okay, so let's see how they translate this verse here. Shivasya Shri Vishnur ya iha gunanamari sakalam dhiya bhinnam pashyat sakalu harinama itakara. Those who see any difference between the auspicious Sri Vishnu, see, he's translated Shiva as just as auspicious. So one who sees difference between the auspicious Sri Vishnu and any of his names, qualities, etc., are certainly offenders to the name of Hari. Interesting. All right, so glories to Mahaprabhu, the life of Gadadhar. Glories to Nityananda, the life of Janavadevi. Glories to the husband of Sita. Glories to the devotees of Gaur. Jai Gadadhar Prana, Janava Jivan. Jai Sita Naka Jai, Gaura Bhakta Jan. This is something I'm going to work on today. I collected, I think I showed this once before, but I collected all the different Panchatattva um, variations of the Panchatattva in uh, Navadip Dham Parikrama, Navadip Dham Mahatma, and in Chaitanya Bhagavat, and also Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also here in Harināma-cintāmaṇi, and I'm gonna collect them all together, and maybe we can. I'm gonna choose my favorite ones, and then I'm gonna put them in the songbook in the kirtan section, so that like if we're doing Nagar Sankirtan, then in the middle you can just sing one of these Panchatattva verses, and I think it's easy enough for everybody to follow. Um, it's all familiar names like that. Anyway, says this. Okay, so. Śrīla Haridas Thakur, placing his hands together, said, O Lord of the universe, kindly hear about the second offense. Vishnu is supreme. Vishnu is the Advaigyan Paratattva. He is the absolute truth who is Advaigyan, who is non-dual. It's one without a second, right? The form of the Lord of the universe is transcendental, and he is eternally situated in the state of Shuddha Sattva. He has no touch with the material world, with material goodness, passion, or ignorance. Krishna, who sports in Goloka, is the essence of reality. Decorated with 64 qualities, he is the basis of ras. 60 of these qualities are manifest in the form of Narayan, and these 60 qualities are to a certain extent in Vishnu's pastimes also. These 60 qualities are visible in the Purusha avatars and the Shvangsha avatars based upon their activities. Now, Vishnu's his separated parts, his separated expansions, the jivas, and the special jivas, the demigods, they possess. Well, no, the jivas possess 50 of these qualities to a minute degree. Vishnu's vibhinangshas, his separated parts, are of two types. 50 qualities are found in the minute drop. They're found in minute droplets, just little tiny drops of these 50 qualities are within the jivas. And then Shiva and the Devas always possess these 50 qualities, but to a greater extent than just the regular jivas. In addition, another 5 qualities partially manifest, and these are also wonderfully present within them, within Shiva and the other Devas. So they have 5 extra qualities. These 55 qualities are present with Vishnu in full. All the Shastra declares this. And the 5 other qualities are present within Narayan. They do not exist within anyone else. So 50 qualities are in the jivas, just tiny little droplets of the 50 qualities are within the jivas. Then 5 extra qualities are in the demigods headed by Shiva to a small degree, whereas Vishnu has all those qualities in complete fullness. But then there's 5 extra qualities, so bringing it up to 60, which are present within Narayan. They do not exist in anyone else. And then Krishna, of course, has 4 extra qualities, which is not even present in Vishnu. So the supreme controller, Vishnu Tattva, possesses 60 qualities. Shiva and the other devas are his servants. Girish, Shiva, and the devas are all vibhinangsha. They are separated parts of the Lord. They're not swangsha. They're not his own personal expansions. They are separated expansions of the Lord. Vishnu is the Lord of all jivas and the Lord of all the devas. Extremely ignorant people who think that other devas are equal to Vishnu do not understand Isha Tattva, the truth concerning the supreme controller. Within this mundane world, Vishnu is the supreme controller. Shiva and the other demigods carry out his instructions. Some say that when Brahman, who is always homogeneous, contacts the 3 modes of Maya, he attains the qualities and becomes these 3 devas, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. This is the conception of the Mayavadis. The scriptures concludes that Narayan is worshipable, and Brahma and Shiva are responsible for the tasks of creation and destruction. People who reject Vasudeva to worship other devas instead become absorbed in the world of repeated birth and death due to their rejection of the supreme controller. Some say that, I know that Vishnu is the supreme truth. I accept the Vedas state that Vishnu is present everywhere in the world. Therefore, Vishnu resides within all the devas, all the demigods. So worship of the devas is the same as worshiping Vishnu because he's present within them. Statements such as these are forbidden because such worship is not enjoined. To worship other devas in this way is prohibited. One may say that Vishnu presides everywhere within the material world, and by worshiping Vishnu, one also worships. But by worshiping Vishnu, one also worships all the devas. If one waters the root of a tree, the branches will thrive. If one only waters the leaves, the tree will perish. Thus, if I abandon the other demigods and only worship Vishnu, then I will attain the result of worshipping all the forms of the other devas. From ancient times, the Vedas have accepted this decree. There is only misery for those fools who reject this rule and worship the devas separately. When the age of Kali arrived and the jivas became contaminated by Mayavad, those jivas believed in the philosophy that the worship of many devas was equal to the worship of Vishnu. Each individual deva offers a specific benediction, but Vishnu bestows all boons and protects all. If persons with material desires could understand this truth, they would abandon the devas and attain results from worshipping Vishnu. So yeah, it's important to first understand this tattva of how the demigods are separate from Vishnu and how they're similar also. I mean, like what they have. But no, sorry, scratch that last sentence. But then also there are certain duties of householders, right, in Varnashram Dharma to perform certain samskars and different rituals and stuff like that. So what are the duties of a householder Vaishnav now? The Grihastha, who is a devotee of Vishnu, should, without any doubt, worship Krishna in all his activities. For various samskars, for different purificatory ceremonies, beginning with Nisheka, and Nisheka refers to the Garbhodhan samskar for getting good progeny, and all the different samskars all the way up to the terminating at the cremation ground. So the Grihastha Vaishnav should worship Vishnu with the mantras of the Vedas. Following the instructions of the Vedas, he should worship Vishnu and the Vaishnavas. He should offer Krishna's remnants to the Devas and the Pitris, to the demigods and forefathers. Those who follow the philosophy of the Mayavadis when offering Shraddha, those are the offerings that you make to your forefathers. Those who follow the philosophy of Mayavadis when offering Shraddha to the forefathers and worshipping the demigods are doomed due to their offense. Imposing a dualistic conception upon Vishnu Tattva is an offense to the holy name. By this offense, one's progress in bhakti is obstructed. Those who think that Shiva and the other devas are independent controllers commit a dreadful offense to the holy name. The demigods, the devas, manifest from Vishnu Shakti, the Lord's superior energy. The Vedas never accept that their various potencies are superior to his. In ancient times, Shiva, Brahma, Ganapati, that's Ganesh, Surya, the sun god, and the Dikpalas, the controllers of the 10 directions, were invested with Krishna's potency, and they became controllers. Thus, I understand that Krishna is the sole supreme controller. He is Pareshvar, and all the devas are counted as his potencies. Therefore, a grihastha should totally reject material conceptions in the execution of all his duties and strive towards attaining a proper devotional mood. He performs various rituals with a proper devotional mood, and he satisfies the devas and pitris by offering the remnants of Krishna to them. He gives up the worship of many demigods and demigoddesses because they are all devotees of Krishna. They are and so because he does this, all the devas and devis, they are very pleased with him because they're worshiping their Lord, Krishna. By worshiping Sri Krishna and the Vaishnavas, all results are attained. He who does this avoids committing offenses to the holy name and chants the name constantly. Those humans who follow the duties of Varna in this world walk on the path of Dharma as they travel in this material body. So this is for everybody who is, within Varnashram Dharma, within the Varna and ashrams. But now, what are the rules for people who are outside of Varna and ashram? The Antyajer Vidhi, the rules for low-born people. The Sankar and Antyaja should completely renounce their low-class nature and activities, and always accept the role of Shudras in the material world. Sankar refers to those of, like, born by, I don't know, but like the caste is like mixed caste, or also like not, what would you say? Like, and like in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says unwanted progeny. So like they were not, yeah, um, not properly conceived or whatever. And antyajas, those who fall outside the caste system. So they should always accept the role of Shudras in the material world. The Sankar and Antyaja should follow the conduct of the Shudras, because without the four Varnas, there is no Dharma in this world. In this world, one should be situated in one of the four Varnas within Varna Dharma, execute pure Krishna Bhakti, and always follow proper conduct. Even if one belongs to the four Varnas, if he does not worship Shri Krishna, despite following the rules of conduct found in Varna Dharma, he will fall into Raurava, into one of the lower planetary systems. So even though he's following all the duties of Varnashram perfectly, but he does not worship Krishna, he'll still fall into Raurav. Without Varna, there is no other Dharma for a Grihastha. All a Grihasta's activities are found within the practices of Varna Dharma, within this Varnashram system. In this world, one should follow Varna Dharma, and according to his means, he should worship Krishna. During the time a man is under the rules of this world, he should take care to conduct himself according to Varna Dharma. This science is defined by the name Bhakti Yoga. In Bhakti Yoga, bhava arises. This is said to be the culmination of perfection. When bhava arises, then there is no need to follow the scriptural rules. One's journey within this material body attains perfection at the appearance of bhav. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, as long as the jiva finds it necessary to follow the rules and regulations, he must be situated in Varnashram. As he continues in his bhajan, bhav eventually arises within him. When bhav appears, the jiva naturally becomes beautiful. And as the regulated jiva ascends, he abandons the dictates of scriptural rules. Ordinary jivas cannot understand this, as Shuddha Bhav appears of its own accord. The resolute sadhana of a Grihastha Vaishnava is to accept Sri Vishnu, that absolute truth who is one without a second. So this is where we read up to yesterday. Now we will complete this chapter. We will read from this point on, the Bengali. Nam nami ogun gunir abhede Vishnu gyan shuddha hoy. The pure knowledge that Vishnu is none different from his name and qualities. It says there's the name and the possessor of the name, and the qualities and the possessor of the qualities. Abhede, there's no non-different, no difference. Vishnu Gyan Shuddha Hoy. Then one's knowledge of Vishnu becomes pure. One's understanding of Vishnu becomes pure when they understand, when there is no difference between Nama Nami and Gun and Guni. Okay. Ar eka katha ache dvaita nivartane Vishnu nam Vishnu rupa Vishnu guna gane. Another point is that there is no duality concerning Vishnu's name, form, and qualities. On Haribol Krishna Mai Didi, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, and Vidyalalasa Didi. Haribol. Okay, Vidyalalasa Didi we'll watch later today. Okay, Haribol. So another point is that there's no duality concerning Vishnu's name, form, and qualities. Vishnu hoite pritak rupe namani be kobu advai akhanda Vishnu chinmayatve vibhu. One should not think that Vishnu is different from his form. Vishnu is non-dual, complete, transcendental, and infinite. Agyanete jadi hoy dvaita upadrava nama bhasa hoy tar prema asambhava. If, due to ignorance, one is troubled by the misconception of duality as regards the Lord's name, form, and qualities, then namabhas will occur, and the attainment of prema will be impossible. So if one sees Dvaita, one sees a difference between the Lord and his name, and the Lord and his qualities, and the Lord and his form, like that, then they'll only be able to chant Namabhas, and Prem will be asambhav, will be impossible. Sarguru kripay je anartha vinash, bhajite bhajite shuddha namer prakash. By the mercy of a genuine guru, this anartha will be destroyed. By continually engaging in bhajan, Shuddha Nam will eventually manifest. Mayavadir kutarka o aparad, the fallacious arguments and offense of the Mayavadis. Matavad gyane dvaita hoy lo pravartan, aparad hoy ar nahe nirvartan. If duality concerning Krishna's name, form, and qualities, based upon the ideology of certain philosophies, is introduced, then an offense is committed which cannot be retracted. Mayavadi bole brahma hoy paratattva, nirvishesh nirvikar nirakar sattva. Mayavadi state, the supreme truth is Brahman, which is devoid of qualities, unchangeable and without form. Vishnu Rup Vishnu Nam, Maya Kalpita, Maya Antardhani Vishnu Han Brahmagata. These Mayavadis also they say, Vishnu's forms and names are the imaginary creations of Maya. With the disappearance of Maya, Vishnu merges into Brahman. Esava kutarka matra, satya shunyavar, paratatve sarva shakti abhava pramar. All these are simply fallacious arguments, and in truth, they are shunyavad. Shunyavad refers to Buddhism. To claim that the supreme truth is devoid of all potencies is madness. Shaktiman Brahma Jai, She Vishnu Hoy, Namer Vivad Matra Veder Nirnoy. Brahman is the possessor of all potencies, and he is Vishnu. The only difference is in their names. This is the verdict of the Vedas. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Mayavadis are narrow-minded. Observing that there is variety in the material world, they assume that spiritual existence must have no variety. Because they have incomplete faith, they imagine that Brahman is without ras and dry. They cannot accept that Brahman naturally possesses names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. Considering this, they think that Brahman becomes known as Vishnu. Mayavad is very unfortunate for the jivas, and pure devotees stay far away from that narrow doctrine and believe in the pure devotees they believe in the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Bhagavan. Vishnu or Brahma Tattver Sambandha. The relationship between Vishnu and Brahma Tattva. Vishnupara Tattvatar Nirvishesha Dharma Savishesha Dharma Saha Hoy Ekamarma. Vishnu is the supreme reality. He possesses an intrinsic feature without qualities, and an intrinsic feature with qualities. Yet he remains one. So Vishnu is Nirvishesh and Savishesh. He is completely devoid of any material qualities, and he possesses infinite spiritual qualities, distinctions, or features, maybe is a better word. Vishnur achintya shakti viroda bhanjan anayase kori kore saundarja sthapan. Vishnu's achintya shakti, his inconceivable potency, dispels all contradictions and easily establishes his beauty. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, fully accepting the Lord's special achintya shakti, which does not establish nirvishesh exclusively, all opposing arguments are cast far away. Jiva buddhi sahajete ati alpatar achintya shaktir bhav na kore gochar. By nature, the intelligence of the jiva is very meager. They cannot fathom the achintya shakti. Nija buddhe chahe ek sthapite ishvar khanda gyane pai brahma tattvete avar. Desiring to establish the supreme controller with their intelligence, they only attain partial knowledge of the lowest conception of Brahman. Vishnur Paramapada Chari Devarchita Brahme Baddha Hoy Nahi Bujhe Hita Hita. If they reject the divine feet of Vishnu and worship the Devas, or if they are attached to Brahman, they will never understand what is beneficial for them and what is not beneficial. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vishnur means those who reject Vishnu's feet, which are worshipped by all the devatas. They have those who reject Vishnu's feet, which are worshipped by all the devatas. Those people have a fragmented intellect, and being bound only by an imaginary Brahman, they cannot comprehend what is beneficial and what is not beneficial, what is hita and what is ahita. Chinmoy Swarupa Gyan Je Bhujite Jane Vishnu Vishnu Nama Guna Eka Kori Mane. Those who understand this knowledge concerning the transcendental nature of the Supreme know that Vishnu and his name and qualities are one. Those who have knowledge of the Chinmay Swarup of Bhagavan, they understand that Vishnu and Vishnu's name and qualities, etc., are one. Eto Vishuddha Gyan, Shri Krishna Swarup, Sambandha Buddhite Labhi Bhaje Namarup. This is pure transcendental knowledge of Shri Krishna's form and inherent nature. When one receives knowledge of Sambandha, one's relationship with Krishna, one worships him in the form of the holy name. Shiva o Vishnur ki rup, sorry, Shiva o Vishnu ki rupe abhed buddhi koribe. Understanding how Shiva and Vishnu are non-different. Jadanam jadarup gune jay bhed, she bhed, chit tatve nai eito prabhed. There are differences between material names, forms, and qualities. Within Chit Tattva, spiritual reality, there is no difference amongst these. That's not. The Bengali says, that difference which exists in Jadanam, Jadarup, Gun, etc., like within material names, so that She Bhed Chit Tattva, that difference does not exist within the Chit Tattva. So this is one sentence in the Bengali. Vishnu Tattve Bheda Gyan Anartha Vikar Shivete Vishnute Bheda Ati Avichar. To cultivate Bheda Gyan, the understanding of differentiation between the Lord's name, form, etc., in regards to Vishnu Tattva, so to think that there's difference between the Lord's name in regards to Vishnu Tattva, this is an anartha and an aberration. To consider Shiva to be distinct from Vishnu is a great error. Hmm. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, it is faulty to consider differentiation in regards to Vishnu Tattva. If one thinks that Shiva and the other devatas are independent of Vishnu, then this consideration of difference arises. Okay, so they're both related. When one sees that there's when the Shiva and the demigods are independent of Vishnu, then they start to think that there's differences between Vishnu and his name and his form and qualities and pastimes. So they both relate to each other. It's interesting. Okay. Bhakta o Mayavadir achar o pravritti bhed. The difference in the conduct and tendencies of a devotee and a Mayavadi. Namaika Sharanje Bhakta Mahajan Ekeshwar Krishne Bhaji Chare Anyajan. A devotee who is a Mahajan takes exclusive shelter of the holy name. He worships Krishna as the only supreme controller and rejects anyone else. Anya Dev Anya Shastra Ninda Nahi Kore Krishna Das Boli Anye Puje Samadare. He does not criticize other devas and other scriptures, other shastra. He worships and regards them as servants of Krishna. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, why doesn't a devotee of Krishna criticize other demigods and other scriptures? Because he throws dry logic far away. Other scriptures try to establish the superiority of other devas only to give approval to the eligibility of the path that some jivas take. All the shastras are trying to make them qualified in transcendental reality in order to make them into devotees of Krishna. Therefore, one should not criticize different devatas and shastra. That criticism is an offense. Rejecting the notion of Bheda Gyan, that the devas are independent controllers, one will attain the mercy of pure Krishna bhakti. Pratidin grihi bhakta nirmalya arpane deva pitri sarva jive koren tarpane. Each day, a householder devotee offers remnants of Krishna in order to please the devas, pitris, and all the jivas. So householders, grihasta Vaishnavas, they can also still perform all, make offerings to the demigods and to the forefathers and all jivas, but only Krishna Prasad, right? Nirmalya. Nirmalya means remnants of Krishna. Jatha jatha anya deve koren darshan, Krishna das bolitare koren vandan. Whenever he sees other demigods, he considers them to be servants of Krishna and offers them respect. Mayavadi gan jadi Vishnu puja kore, prasada nirmalya bhakta nahi loy dare. If Mayavadis perform worship of Vishnu out of fear, the devotees will not accept such prasad remnants. Oh, sorry. If the Mayavadis perform worship of Vishnu, then out of fear, the devotees will not accept such prasad remnants. Why is that? Because Mayavadi Hari Name Aparadhi Hoy, Tahar Pradatta Puja Hari Nahi Loy. Mayavadis are offenders to Harinam. Whatever worship they offer is not accepted by Hari. So it's not Hari's prasad, whatever they offer to him. Anya Deva Nirmalya Grahane Aparad, Shuddha Bhakti Sadhane Sarvada Sadhevad. Accepting the remnants of other devas is an offense. In the practice of Shuddha Bhakti, such remnants are always avoided. Tabe jadi Shuddha Bhakta Shri Krishna pujiya, Anya Deve puja kore tat prasada diya. However, if a pure devotee worships Shri Krishna, he may also worship other demigods and then offer them that prasad which was offered to Shri Krishna. She prasad grahanete nahi aparad, she rupa devarachane nahi bhakti badha. To accept such prasad is not an offense. When worship of the devas is done in this way, it is not an obstacle to bhakti. I think is it in Bhubaneswar? There's Ananta Vasudev, and then Ananta Vasudev's prasad is offered to Lingaraj Shiva, and so that Shiva's prasad we can take because it's just yeah because they're offering Vishnu's prasad to Shiva. Shuddha Bhakta Nama I think so. Anyways, Shuddha Bhakta Nama Aparadhi Nahi Hoy, Nama Kori Prema Pai Name Deit Jai. A pure devotee is never an offender to the name. He chants the holy name, attains prem, and the name bestows success upon him. E aparadhir pratikar, the remedy for this offense. Pramade jadapi hoy anye Vishnu gyan, tave anutape kori Vishnu tattva dhyan. However, if out of foolishness one thinks Vishnu to be equal to others, then, repenting, one should meditate upon Vishnu tattva. Shri Vishnu smariya kori aparadha khoy, jatne deki arna she aparadha hoy. By remembrance of Shri Vishnu, one's offense will be removed. Then one should be careful not to commit that offense again. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura writes this note. He says, there is no greater penance in the world than remembrance of Shri Vishnu. Throughout the Vedas, it is stipulated that Brahmins who are in danger should take darshan of Vishnu's feet. It is said that remembering Krishna Nam and taking darshan of Vishnu's feet are the same. This is a good, important instruction. They should take darshan of, so throughout the Vedas, it is stipulated that Brahmins who are in danger, they've committed an offense or they're in danger like that, then they should take darshan of Vishnu's feet, and remembering Krishna Nam and taking darshan of Vishnu's feet are the same. So they should just chant Krishna Nam. There's no greater penance in this world. Purvadosh Kamashil Bhaktir Bandhav Dayar Sagar Krishna Kamar Arnava. Krishna is an ocean of forgiveness. He is Kamar Arnav, ocean of forgiveness. And he is a Doyar Sagar, he is an ocean of mercy. He is the friend of the devotees. He is Bhaktir Bandhav and is forgiving. He is Kamashil or Kshamashil. He is forgiven. He will pardon their previous mistakes. Bahudev Sevi Sangha Koribo Varjan Ekeshwar Vaishnaver Koribo Pujan. Abandoning the company of those who worship many demigods, many devas, a Vaishnav worships the one supreme controller. Haridas Pade Bhakti Vinod Jai Jan Harināma-cintāmaṇi Tahar Jivan. Harināma-cintāmaṇi is the life of Bhaktivinoda, that personality who resides at the feet of Haridas. Iti Śrī Harināma-cintāmaṇo Devāntare svātantrya-jñānāparādha nama panchama parichedah. Thus ends the 5th chapter of Śrī Harināma-cintāmaṇi, entitled The Offence of Considering the Devas to be Independent. So, tomorrow we will read the next chapter, which is, what is the next chapter? 1 second, let me just opening it. And this is where we're reading from, this BhaktivinodaInstitute.org. So the next chapter, chapter 6. Oh, this is important. Gurur Avagya, neglecting the Guru. Yeah, this is a very important chapter. So this is the topic which we'll read tomorrow. All right, that's our program for today. Let's see what titis are coming up. Just opening up. Oops, 1 second. Today is nothing. Then let's look at the week. Okay, the next titi coming up is on the 24th. That's Vijaya Akadashi. Great, so we'll be able to get through a lot of Harināma-cintāmaṇi. And then on the 27th is Shiva Chaturdashi or Shiva Ratri Vrat. And then on the 1st is Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Rasikananda Prabhu, and Srila Bhakti Dayit Madhav Goswami Maharaj, all of their disappearance days. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Saccidānanda Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swapa Shachi Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai. Namachay Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. Śrī Harināma-cintāmaṇi ki jai. Śrīla Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. Śrī Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Jai Śrī Saccidānanda Gaur Hari ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind. Śrī Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shrinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Haribo.
Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai. Priyai Keshavascha. Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyaevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees. This next Sunday, we will finally learn the third verse of Dashmula Tattva. But if you want to join this program of learning Dashmula Tattva, the verses of Dashmula Tattva, and you haven't memorized the first and second verses yet, you still have time to do so. We made 4 videos going through the memorization of the first 2 verses. And if you want any of the resources, if you want the word for word and breakdown and explanation, you can just find that on my YouTube channel. And yeah, or if any of the words are, if you're trying to learn them and any of the words are not fully clear to you, you could also just message me on WhatsApp. And yeah, I'm happy to explain according to my understanding everything. And then yeah, we'll go over the third verse soon. What's that? Today's Wednesday, so like in 3 days from now or 4 days from now. Yeah. All right. Dandavat pranams. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end today's program?
Thank you. Haribo. Dandavat.
Haribo, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Dandavat. Haribo. Okay, so Dandavat pranams, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Archana Mataji.
Dandavat to all.
Excellent. Dandavat pranams, Ganga Mataji, Krishna Maya Didi, Praduna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Vidyalalasa Didi, and all the other devotees watching, maybe Indira Mataji and Raseshwari Mataji, and all the devotees watching in the future. Dandavat pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribo.
Haribo.
Haribol, thank you very much.
Thank you, Archana Mataji. Haribo.